The camera opens on a rainy highway. A white limousine speeds by, leaving behind a trail of tears and confusion. On the side of the road stands Ethan Cole, a ruggedly handsome man in his mid-30s, holding an umbrella over his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Their old pickup truck has broken down. Lily looks up at her father, trembling from the cold. Just then, a woman in a soaking white wedding dress runs toward them from the opposite direction, mascara streaming down her face, bouquet in hand. She looks lost, broken, desperate. Ethan's eyes widen. "Miss, are you all right?" The woman gasps, her voice trembling, "Please, just drive. Anywhere but here." And without another word, the single dad opens the truck door, changing both of their lives forever. Headphone: "That was the day my daughter and I met the billionaire bride who didn't want to be rich anymore." The rain didn't stop for hours. Ethan drove through winding country roads, his wipers struggling to keep up. The mysterious bride sat silently beside him, gripping her wedding dress as if it held all her pain. Lily, curious as always, peeked from the back seat. "Are you a princess?" she asked innocently. The woman turned, forcing a weak smile. "I guess I used to be, but not anymore." Ethan glanced at her, noticing her trembling hands and bloodshot eyes. She looked exhausted, but more than that, empty. They stopped at a small diner on the outskirts of town. Over steaming cups of coffee and a plate of pancakes Lily insisted on sharing. The truth began to unfold. Her name was Isabella Grant, heiress to the Grant Industries empire, one of the biggest tech companies in New York. Her wedding was supposed to unite two corporate dynasties, sealing a billion-dollar merger. But when she found out her fiancé, Charles, had been cheating and marrying her only for power, she ran. "I was standing there in front of everyone," she said, staring into her untouched coffee, "and I realized I didn't love him. I didn't even love myself anymore. So I ran before I disappeared completely." Ethan listened quietly. He knew what loss looked like. He had seen it the day his wife passed away in a car accident, leaving him to raise Lily alone. He understood that hollow pain, that desperate urge to escape. When Isabella asked, "Can I stay somewhere for the night?" he hesitated, then nodded. "You can stay in the guest room. It's not much, but it's safe." That night, in Ethan's small, cozy farmhouse, Isabella watched how this man, with nothing but an old truck and a gentle heart, tucked his daughter into bed, whispering stories until she fell asleep. It felt real. Something she hadn't felt in years. Days passed. Isabella helped around the house, cooked breakfast with Lily, even painted the porch with Ethan. Slowly, her designer heels were replaced with muddy boots, and her soft manicured hands learned how to dig in the garden, but the outside world hadn't forgotten her. News headlines screamed. "Billionaire bride missing, police investigate possible kidnapping." Paparazzi began searching small towns nearby. Ethan saw the news but said nothing. He wanted her to choose whether she'd go back or not. One evening, as they sat watching Lily chase fireflies, Isabella whispered, "I never knew peace could look like this." Ethan smiled faintly. "It's not peace. It's just life. The simple kind." She looked at him, then really looked, and something in her heart shifted. For the first time, love didn't look like diamonds or skyscrapers. It looked like laughter under a broken porch light and the warmth of a little girl calling her Aunt Bella. It was a Sunday morning when the quiet was broken. 3 black SUVs rolled down the dirt road leading to Ethan's farmhouse. Isabella froze as men in suits stepped out, reporters, security, her father's assistant, Miss Grant. "Thank God you're safe," one of them shouted. Her world had come to collect her. Ethan stepped forward protectively. "She's fine. She doesn't need," but Isabella stopped him with a gentle hand. "It's okay," she said softly, though her eyes were full of tears. "They took her away," Lily cried as the car disappeared into the distance. Ethan stood still, fists clenched, watching the woman who had brought warmth back into their lives vanish like a dream. Back in New York, Isabella was surrounded by luxury again, glittering chandeliers, silk gowns, and bodyguards. But she felt suffocated. The old loneliness returned stronger than ever. Her father demanded she return to the company. "Your disappearance caused chaos, Isabella. You'll fix it, starting tomorrow." But that night, Isabella wrote a single note: "I found something money can't buy, peace. And love that doesn't need a price tag." She left the note on her father's desk and disappeared once more. 2 weeks later, Ethan was fixing his fence when a familiar car pulled up. Lily ran to the gate shouting, "Daddy! It's her!" Isabella stepped out, wearing jeans, boots, and the brightest smile he'd ever seen. "I told my father I'm selling my shares," she said, "and starting a new life. If it's not too late, maybe I could start it here." Ethan didn't answer, he just pulled her into a tight embrace. Lily jumped up and down, giggling. Does this mean you're staying forever? Isabella kissed her forehead. Forever sounds perfect.